Hi, welcome to Large Intestine Cleanse, the last week. Welcome to Tea Time with Craig for our final talk. For those of you in the group, I have these thoughts of a container and how sometimes holding a container, cheers, sometimes holding a container or facilitating a container, one can put too much pressure on themselves, and also one, as I learned from a friend recently about being a good quote unquote healer, one of those things is compassion, and one of them is letting go. And so my quote unquote check in today is, giving attention to the container is one of the things that I do on my side as we're ending this thing. And the other one is using the skills as best I can and knowledge and wisdom, and then having that compassion, and then also having a good, some people believe in wearing gold or platinum bracelets or things, but one of the things that I've learned is in this cleanse, I sort of got my ass kicked at the end. And I think I got my ass kicked because people want to find out, everyone around me is like, what's wrong? What's wrong? And it's as simple as, too much is piled on the plate. And this time of year in the autumn, we typically need to rest more and go internal more. So this first slide again is just sort of, as the pattern goes, is just the introduction to the rest of the PowerPoint and my check-in, so to speak. So if you're doing this online and this is sometime in the future and it's definitely not the autumn, then make note that of all the ways that you have failed and all the things that, do remember what you wanted to get out of this and what you're going to carry forward. The most important thing is, this moment. So what are you going to carry forward now? That's the most important thing to me. So I'm not going to spend as much time on these slides as they are information for each of you. So we'll go right into slide 2. It's about reintroducing foods. And the gold here on slide 2 is when you reintroduce a food is to realize that food allergies are very rare, and most of the time they're food intolerances, and they come and they go. And please, the bit of wisdom I've seen in my practice and my personal life is what you are intolerant to now, you can definitely work in later or try to, even if it's just a pulse test. And we have tools here for that in my office. Pulse testing, muscle testing, there are ways to see if one is tolerant of a food that they weren't tolerant with, and you don't even have to eat it to find out. So keep that in mind, that what you're having trouble with now, you might not later. And the immune system reaction is an allergy is an immune system reaction. So that's slide 3. I'm not going to go through that. Slide 4, the gold is these are digestive system responses, and much more common, like 90 to 99%. And look in terms of the slide, may lack the necessary enzymes to process the food. The gut lining may be compromised. Of course, the digestive system and the immune system both have sort of complementary relationships, but one cannot deny that there is definitely not a lot of food allergies, but more like food reactions or food intolerances. Slide 5, we go into the things that I see, and I'm going to be blunt and a bit bold here, is that most of us who say we eat healthy are approaching this from a place of arrogance and or a place of ignorance. The place of ignorance is that our standards are like this big in health, and my standards, as in my research and experience over the last 20 years, are much higher. And you could call me a zealot, you could call me an extremist, but you can call me what you will, and this is my dance, and that's, I seek truth, and the truth as far as health goes is very dispersed, very weak, and very full of dogma and ideologies. So these are the things that I see most people need, is they need a multivitamin support. I love the standard process line. Dr. Ron's has some things. There are other brands up there. But a lot of people, the typos especially, need to include organ meats in this. Most of us aren't getting enough minerals. Most of us probably need an EFA supplement. Fish is now, sort of viewed as a lot of skepticism. But however, the fish liver oils, cod liver oil, fish liver oil, and tuna oil and squid oil as standard process uses are great EFA sources, and make sure that they're sourced and processed properly, i.e. they're still raw. A lot of us are going to need some kind of amino acid support. A lot of us are going to need some greens support, and that could be as simple as sprouts in the window. And that also carry in some of the amino acid support, sprouted foods, sprouted legumes, sprouted seeds, sprouted herbs and things, all are excellent in terms of amino acid support. And then we've always got our raw egg yolks and things like that. Extra fiber, spending a few minutes on this, is that a lot of us need, in times of cleansing, some extra soluble fiber. And in the fall, the apples and the pears are great sources of soluble fiber. And believe it or not, onions are too. Some need more B vitamins. It's a huge, huge problem because B vitamins run so many pathways in the body. And I'm going to reiterate what I keep trying to tell people, is that B vitamins and vitamins in general are not chemicals. There are life processes. And so when we look at the chemical part, we're not looking at the whole picture. It's like looking at this glass of milk, the picture of it as you see on the screen, and calling it the milk. This is the process of the tea becoming Craig. It's a much different thing. It's like taking a photograph of a runner and calling it the runner. That's not what vitamins are. They are the runner running its process. And the sooner we understand that vitamins are verbs, they're not nouns or adjectives, then we'll get it. And we need to supplement with them more B vitamins in one's diet. And then a probiotic most people are going to need. And sometimes that can be as simple as a gut lining restorative, like marshmallow root, comfrey, plantain, self-heal. There's all kinds of great herbs out there. That's where most people I would highly recommend coming and seeing me and getting on an herbal blend, or planting some herbs in your yard, better yet. Slide 6 is about meal planning, and this is very important. It doesn't take a lot of time, but keep your diet close to this cleanse. That's going to be very important. Keep it close to the cleanse. It helps you stay on track, and then you'll add stuff in. But have plenty of produce around, fruits and vegetables. It's really important. And if all you can do and you're back east, like this time of the year in the autumn, and you're in New England or Texas or whatever, you can still have a grow light or have stuff in your windowsill and have sprouts going. So look into that. Slide 7, some basics. One of the main things is don't shop when you're hungry, and don't read labels according to commercials or marketing propaganda. And then natural means nothing. Slide 8 talks about the daily diet. So continue to keep the diet similar to the cleanse as much as possible. Really important. Slide 9, what foods to continue, or there's your gist there. You got a plate of food, think of it as a pie chart, and 2/3 of it should be fruits and vegetables. There's no negotiation to that. There's no ways around that. And if all you can do and you don't have much of that available, then you have dried or powdered versions of that, and you hydrate them and do the best you can. I understand that some of us just don't have those options, and I say then you move or create community where you can have those and find ways to get it in. And that's going to change throughout the seasons and according to our needs. I'm eating, now that it's getting colder, I am eating less volume of fruits and vegetables, even during the cleanse. But I'm doing more neutral foods like chia seeds and dairy, like yogurt, that aren't quite as acid load as high as meat, and trusting my body there. Next slide is we go into proteins. Slide 10. Slide 11, we go into grains and legumes and carbohydrates, where to add those in. Fats and oils, slide 12. Slide 13, the most important part of our diet being water, getting half our body weight in ounces. So if we weigh 200 pounds, we need 100 ounces of water, really. And that's 100, that's 11 to 12 8-ounce glasses a day or more. And that might seem like a daunting task, but get most of it in when you're in the morning. You can get 1/3 of that in just right out of bed, washing down some supplements, washing down some fiber in the morning. Very important part. Slide 14 goes into the reminders of things we really need to pay attention to, of what's out there, and things that generate waste in the body, and that waste becomes a problem in our intestines and our internal circulation. This is the beginning of the toxic stress cycle, to reiterate that. And by the time you go to the next slide, which will be slide 15, I'm going to do part 2 of this. So please, please, please keep in mind that slide 14 is one of the most important ones on here as far as things not to do as you're moving out of this cleanse. Part 2 coming right up.